Welcome back to the Velvet Paw Café, where time slows down and worries fade away. Tonight, the city sleeps under a blanket of stars, and the cafe glows with a warmth that seems to exist outside of ordinary time. The streets are quiet, save for the occasional whisper of wind through the trees, and inside these walls, something magical happens in the hours when the rest of the world dreams. Tonight's story is about those precious moments after midnight, when the cafe becomes a sanctuary for the restless and the weary, a place where insomnia transforms into something beautiful. The antique clock on the wall has just chimed 12 times, its gentle bells echoing through the cozy space of the Velvet Paw Café. Emma stands behind the counter, wiping down the espresso machine with slow, methodical movements, her honey-colored cardigan wrapped close against the coolness that creeps in during these late autumn nights. She had closed the cafe to regular customers hours ago, but tonight, like some nights, she's chosen to stay open just a little longer, leaving the small brass lamp by the window lit as a signal to those who might need a refuge in the darkness. The cafe takes on a different personality after midnight. The overhead lights are dimmed, replaced by the warm glow of table lamps and the flickering dance of candles placed on windowsills. The fireplace crackles softly in the corner, its orange light casting moving shadows across the exposed brick walls, making the space feel like a painting come to life. The scent of the evening's last brew still lingers in the air, mixing with the vanilla and cinnamon notes from the candles, creating an atmosphere that wraps around you like a familiar embrace. Oliver, the ginger cat with fur the color of autumn leaves, stretches luxuriously in his favorite velvet armchair by the fireplace. His movements are slow and deliberate, each stretch extending into the next with feline grace. He yawns widely, showing pink gums and tiny white teeth, then settles back down with his paws tucked beneath him, his golden eyes half closed as he watches Emma move about the cafe. The firelight catches in his fur, making him glow like a small, contented sun. Luna, the elderly gray cat with wise, knowing eyes, occupies her usual spot on the window seat, her body curled into a perfect circle as she gazes out at the quiet street. Occasionally, her tail flicks gently, the only sign that she's awake and aware. There's something ancient and peaceful about Luna, as if she carries the wisdom of 1,000 quiet nights within her small, soft body. The moonlight streams through the window, turning her gray fur silver, and she seems to shimmer in the gentle darkness. Emma hears the soft chime of the bells above the door and looks up to see a young woman stepping inside, her shoulders slightly hunched against the cold. The woman appears to be in her late 20s, with tired eyes and hair pulled back in a messy bun. She hesitates at the threshold, as if unsure whether she should enter, her hand still on the door handle, ready to retreat back into the night. "Come in," Emma says softly, her voice barely above a whisper, respecting the quietness of the hour. "You're welcome here." The woman steps fully inside, and the door closes behind her with a gentle click. She's wearing an oversized sweater and comfortable pants, the kind of clothes one throws on when sleep refuses to come and staying in bed becomes unbearable. Emma recognizes the look immediately. She's seen it before on the faces of others who've found their way here in the small hours, drawn by the light in the window and the promise of companionship without judgment. "I couldn't sleep," the woman says quietly, almost apologetically. "I was walking and saw your light. I didn't know any place would be open this late." Emma smiles, a warm expression that reaches her eyes. Some nights, sleep is elusive. "Would you like some tea?" I have a chamomile blend that's particularly soothing, or perhaps something with lavender." The woman nods gratefully and makes her way to a table near the fireplace. Not too close to Oliver, but near enough to feel the warmth. She sinks into the chair as if her bones are tired, and Emma notices the way her shoulders begin to drop, tension slowly releasing in the safety of the cafe's embrace. Emma prepares the tea with care, selecting a beautiful ceramic teapot painted with delicate flowers, warming it first with hot water before adding the chamomile and lavender blend. The ritual of tea making is something she's perfected over the years, understanding that the preparation is just as important as the drinking, that watching someone care for you in small ways can be its own form of healing. While the tea steeps, Emma brings over a small plate with butter cookies, the kind that melt on your tongue, leaving behind a subtle sweetness. She sets everything down gently, the china making the softest clink as it touches the wooden table, and then she retreats, giving the woman space to breathe and be. This is Emma's gift, knowing when to offer presence and when to offer solitude. Oliver, sensing a potential friend, uncurls himself from his chair and pads across the floor, his footsteps silent on the worn wooden boards. He approaches the woman's table with curiosity but without demand, sitting down a respectful distance away and looking up at her with those warm, golden eyes. The woman notices him, and a small smile crosses her face, the first genuine expression of lightness Emma has seen since she entered. "That's Oliver," Emma says from behind the counter, her voice carrying softly across the space. "He's the official greeter for our late-night visitors. He has a gift for knowing who needs a friend." The woman extends her hand slowly, letting Oliver sniff her fingers. After a moment of consideration, Oliver moves closer, rubbing his head against her hand, and she begins to stroke his soft fur. The motion seems to calm something in her breathing becoming deeper, more even. Oliver, satisfied with his welcome, jumps up onto the chair beside her and settles in, a warm presence that asks for nothing but offers everything. Emma pours herself a cup of peppermint tea and comes to sit at a nearby table, close enough to provide companionship but far enough to respect boundaries. She pulls out a book she's been reading, a collection of poetry about quiet moments and the beauty found in stillness. The pages are worn soft from repeated reading, and she opens it to a familiar passage, letting her eyes drift over words she almost knows by heart. Minutes pass in comfortable silence, broken only by the crackling of the fire, the soft purring of Oliver, and the occasional turn of a page. The woman sips her tea slowly, savoring each warm mouthful, and gradually her expression softens. The tight lines around her eyes begin to ease, and she leans back in her chair, one hand resting on Oliver's warm back, feeling the steady rhythm of his breathing. "I've been thinking too much," the woman says eventually, her voice quiet but no longer strained. "About everything and nothing at the same time. My mind just won't stop, you know?" Emma nods, looking up from her book. "I do know. Sometimes our thoughts become like a storm, and we forget that we can find shelter. We forget that it's okay to simply be, without solving or fixing or understanding everything all at once." The woman considers this, her fingers moving gently through Oliver's fur. "How do you make it stop?" "Sometimes you don't," Emma says gently. "Sometimes you just wait for the storm to pass, but you find a warm place to wait. You let yourself be held by small comforts, a cup of tea, a purring cat, the warmth of a fire. You remember that this moment right now is enough." Luna chooses this moment to leap down from her window perch with surprising grace for a cat of her years. She walks across the cafe with dignified purpose, her tail held high, and approaches their corner. Without asking permission, she jumps up onto the woman's lap, circling once before settling down with a contented sigh. The woman's eyes widen slightly in surprise, and then she laughs, a soft sound of genuine delight. "Luna doesn't usually," Emma begins, then smiles. "Actually, Luna always knows. She's been here longer than anyone, and I sometimes think she can sense who needs her most." The woman cradles Luna carefully, reverently, as if she's been given something precious. Luna's purring is louder than Oliver's, a deep rumbling that seems to resonate through the woman's chest, and Emma watches as tears begin to slide quietly down the woman's cheeks. These aren't tears of sadness exactly, but rather the kind of tears that come when kindness catches you off guard, when you've been holding yourself together for so long that gentleness makes you come apart. "I'm sorry," the woman whispers, wiping at her eyes. "I don't know why Don't apologize," Emma says softly. "This is a safe place for tears. Sometimes we hold on to so much, and sometimes we just need permission to let it go." They sit together in the quiet that follows, the cafe holding them all in its warm embrace. The fire pops and settles, sending up small sparks that disappear into the chimney. Outside, a light rain begins to fall, so gentle it's almost silent, just a soft pattering against the windows that adds another layer to the cafe's cocoon of safety. The sound is hypnotic, natural white noise that seems to slow time even further. Emma rises after a while and moves to the small bookshelf near the reading nook, selecting a volume bound in soft green cloth. She returns and places it on the woman's table. "Poetry," she explains. "Sometimes it helps to read words that capture what we feel but can't express. You're welcome to borrow it, or just look through it while you're here." The woman picks up the book with one hand, the other still resting on Luna, and opens it to a random page. Her eyes scan the words, and Emma sees her lips moving slightly as she reads silently. The poem is about finding peace in small moments, about the way a quiet room can hold us when nothing else can. It's one of Emma's favorites, and she's glad the book fell open to that particular page. More time passes, 10 minutes, 20, perhaps 30. Time has little meaning here after midnight. The woman reads, drinks her tea, and occasionally reaches down to stroke Oliver, who has positioned himself against her leg. Luna continues to purr, a steady vibration that seems to sync with the woman's heartbeat. Emma returns to her own book, glancing up occasionally to tend the fire or blow out a candle that's burned down to its base. Around 1 in the morning, the door chimes again, and an elderly man enters. Emma recognizes him immediately. Mr. Chen, one of her regular customers, though she's never seen him here this late before. He's dressed in a thick cardigan and slippers, and he looks slightly sheepish as he steps inside. "Emma," he says, his voice carrying the gentle rasp of age. "I saw your light. I hope I'm not intruding." "Never," Emma assures him. "Please, come sit. Can I make you something warm?" Mr. Chen nods and shuffles toward his usual table near the window, where Luna typically holds court during the day. He moves slowly, carefully, as if his joints protest the late hour. Emma prepares his usual, a simple black tea with just a touch of honey, and brings it to him along with a soft blanket she keeps for chilly evenings. "Couldn't sleep?" she asks gently. "The house is too quiet sometimes," Mr. Chen admits, wrapping the blanket around his shoulders. "Since Margaret passed, the silence is loud, if that makes sense." Emma places a hand briefly on his shoulder, a gesture of understanding and compassion. It makes perfect sense. You're welcome here anytime, Mr. Chen, day or night. Luna, hearing Mr. Chen's voice, perks up from the woman's lap. There's a moment of feline consideration, and then, with gentle insistence, she extracts herself and makes her way to Mr. Chen. She jumps up onto the chair beside him, and then onto the table, where she sits directly in front of him, reaching out one paw to touch his hand. Mr. Chen's weathered face transforms with emotion, and he gathers Luna into his arms, burying his face briefly in her soft gray fur. The woman watches this exchange with wet eyes, and when she catches Emma's gaze, they share a moment of understanding. This recognition that we all carry our sorrows, our sleepless nights, our need for comfort. The cafe has become a sanctuary for the lonely, a place where it's safe to be vulnerable, where cats offer what humans sometimes cannot: unconditional presence without expectation. Emma moves quietly around the space, refreshing the fire, preparing fresh pots of tea, setting out more cookies. She lights new candles to replace those that have burned down, and each small action is performed with intention and care. This is her purpose, she thinks, this creation of sanctuary, this offering of refuge. The Velvet Paw Café is more than a business. It's a promise that no one has to face their darkness alone. Oliver, having lost his companion to Luna's departure, explores the cafe for a moment before discovering Shadow, the black cat, emerging from the basement stairs. Shadow is mysterious and selective about when he appears, but tonight seems to be calling all the cafe's cats to service. The two cats touch noses briefly, a moment of silent communication, and then Shadow makes his way to Emma, winding between her legs as she arranges things at the counter. "Hello, Shadow," she whispers, bending to stroke his sleek black fur. "Decided to join us, did you?" Shadow purrs, a quieter sound than Luna's but no less sincere, and then he does something unexpected. He walks over to the woman who first entered, the one whose lap is now empty of cats. He jumps up onto the table, walks across it with perfect balance, and then settles directly in front of her, green eyes glowing in the firelight. The woman laughs again, that same surprised sound of delight, and reaches out to pet him. "I feel like I'm being attended to by a committee of cats," she says, her voice lighter than it was an hour ago. "You are," Emma confirms with a smile. "They take their job very seriously." Mr. Chen chuckles from his corner, Luna still cradled in his arms. "They do indeed. These cats have gotten me through more difficult nights than I can count. Sometimes I think they understand grief better than humans do." The rain continues its gentle percussion against the windows, and inside the cafe, a small community has formed. 3 humans and their feline companions, all seeking the same thing: comfort, connection, a moment of peace in the midst of life's complexities. They don't know each other's full stories, don't need to. There's an understanding that passes between them, the recognition of fellow travelers through difficult territory. Emma brings out a tin of special treats she keeps for the cats, giving each of them a small piece. Oliver crunches his contentedly. Shadow eats his with delicate precision, and Luna, after considering hers for a moment, accepts it graciously from Mr. Chen's hand. The simple act of caring for these small creatures, of seeing them happy and satisfied, brings a measure of peace to all the humans present. The woman closes the poetry book and holds it against her chest. "Thank you," she says to Emma. "For this, for all of this. I didn't know I needed it until I walked through that door." The cafe has a way of calling people when they need it most, Emma says. Or perhaps you have a way of finding what you need. Either way, I'm glad you came. As 2 o'clock approaches, there's a subtle shift in the atmosphere. It's still peaceful, still warm and safe, but there's a sense of gentle resolution, of readiness for rest. The woman yawns, and this time it's a natural yawn, the kind that comes from genuine tiredness rather than exhaustion. Mr. Chen's eyes are starting to droop, his hand moving more slowly through Luna's fur. Emma doesn't rush anyone. She never does. But she begins to move about the cafe in a way that suggests winding down, banking the fire so it will burn safely through the night, blowing out candles, straightening chairs. The cats seem to sense it too. Shadow hops down from the table and disappears back toward the basement, his work apparently complete. Oliver stretches and yawns, then pads over to his armchair to settle in for the night. I should go, the woman says, though she sounds reluctant. Let you close up. Only if you're ready, Emma assures her. But yes, perhaps it's time to try sleep again. Sometimes all we need is to reset, to step away from our racing thoughts long enough to remember that rest is possible. The woman stands, carefully, as if she's moving through water. She gathers her things and tucks the poetry book under her arm. May I borrow this? Please do. Return it when you're ready, or keep it if it helps. Mr. Chen rises too, gently setting Luna down on the chair. I think I might sleep now, he says. Thank you, Emma, and thank you, Luna. Luna meows softly, as if acknowledging his gratitude, and watches as he wraps himself tighter in his cardigan and makes his way to the door. The woman follows, and Emma walks them both to the entrance. Before they step out into the rainy night, the woman turns back. Will you be here again, if I need this? The light will be on when it needs to be, Emma says simply. Trust that if you need refuge, you'll know where to find it. They leave together, the woman and Mr. Chen, stepping out into the gentle rain and heading in opposite directions, both of them walking a little straighter, their burdens a little lighter. Emma watches them go, then turns back to her cafe. Luna has returned to the window seat. Oliver is already snoring softly by the dying fire, and somewhere in the basement, Shadow is likely curling up in his favorite hidden spot. Emma makes herself one final cup of tea, a simple chamomile, and sits in the quiet cafe, savoring the stillness. This is why she does this, she thinks. This is why she keeps the light on, why she stays up when the rest of the world sleeps. Because everyone deserves a place to land when the night feels too long, when thoughts become overwhelming, when the house is too quiet or the mind too loud. She thinks about the woman's tears, Mr. Chen's grief, the way the cats instinctively knew what each person needed. There's magic in this place, she's certain of it. Not the flashy, dramatic kind, but the quiet magic of presence, of warmth, of being witnessed and held without judgment. It's the magic of a purring cat, a warm cup of tea, a fire that burns through the darkest hours. Outside, the rain begins to ease, and through the window, Emma can see the first hint of pre-dawn lightening in the sky. It's not quite morning, not yet, but it's the promise of morning, that in-between time when night starts to release its grip. She finishes her tea, rinses the cup, and moves through the cafe one more time, making sure everything is safe and settled. Luna watches her with those wise gray eyes, and Emma pauses to stroke her head. Thank you for taking care of them, she whispers. You always know just what to do. Luna purrs, a sound of contentment and agreement, and closes her eyes. Emma dims the last lamp. leaving just enough light for the cats to see, and makes her way to the small apartment above the cafe where she lives. As she climbs the stairs, she can still hear Oliver's gentle snoring, can feel the peace that settled over the Velvet Paw Café like a soft blanket. In her own bed, finally, Emma closes her eyes and thinks about her visitors tonight, wondering if they're sleeping now, hoping they've found the rest they were seeking. She imagines them in their own beds, perhaps with the memory of purring cats and warm tea, the rain still tapping gently at their windows. She hopes they're dreaming peaceful dreams, that the chaos in their minds has settled into something manageable, something soft. The cafe below is quiet now, holding the memory of this night in its walls, in the warmth that still radiates from the fireplace, in the sleeping cats who gave so freely of their comfort. Tomorrow, or rather later today, the cafe will open again for regular hours, and there will be the usual morning rush, the familiar faces, the routine of daily operation. But tonight, in these precious hours between midnight and dawn, the Velvet Paw Café was something else entirely. A sanctuary, a refuge, a place where time moved differently, and healing happened in quiet, unremarkable moments. And somewhere in the city, a woman clutches a poetry book to her chest as she finally drifts off to sleep, and an elderly man rests more peacefully than he has in months. Both of them carrying with them the warmth of the cafe, the softness of cat fur, the kindness of a space that asked nothing and offered everything. In their dreams, perhaps they return to that cozy corner, to the firelight and the gentle rain, to the purring that seemed to sync with their heartbeats and remind them that they are not alone, that even in the darkest nights there is comfort to be found, connection to be made, and peace that waits patiently for us to finally be still enough to receive it.